I am Vinny Todorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get it back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. Just like the woman that's coming in on the other mic, Miss Anna Buccino. That's right, she's got a book out there, pre-order. Eat Happy Italian. Eat Happy Italian. Go pre-order that book at eathappykitchen.com. Oh no, actually I think it's at eathappyitalian.com. Go everywhere, find that book, pre-order it. We'll be talking about it during the show. But until then, we'll bring in the beautiful, vivacious Miss Anna Buccino. How you doing, Pumpkin?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
Anna, can you hear the music now?
Yeah, I can hear it. It sounds good. I can hear it in full effect.
All right, here you
instead
go.
Of like Muddy Waters.
Little Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No, I know that. I'm saying it sounded like Muddy Waters before.
Oh, meaning
I was making a double entendre.
Muddy Water, like all the British guys were into muddy water. But yeah, it doesn't sound like Muddy Water anymore. So no. That's one. All right. So now all of a sudden we got one good thing that's come out of this, right?
So, I mean, this is a game changer. I feel like we're really taking this podcast to the next level.
Yeah. After 11 years, we finally decided to
get serious.
Get a little something. How about us?
I'm backing the camera up so I don't look like just a giant round melon head, which I have.
What we're doing is I've moved off of Zoom and we've gone on to look. When we first started, we used to do this. First we were in Anna's studio for the first couple of years.
In the garage. Yep.
In the garage by the motorway. We'll have to play that song at the end of the show. Remind me that's the song I want to play at the end of the show. Okay. So anyway,
you would roll up in a Ducati.
Yeah, I would come on my Ducati on a Sunday, as you would in LA, right?
Right.
It was so cool and hip back then. I had Italian motorcycles and shit. And I would show up on my Ducati and we'd do 3 shows.
We would do 3 shows.
And that's how the Villa Capelli thing started, because I would yell into the mic for 3+ solid hours. And by the 3rd show, it was like my throat would get scratchy. I was like, fuck those vegans. Screw them guys.
So, and you have to remember too, it wasn't just 3 hours. You had to get there before. We had to set up. You had to take a break between each show. Then we got to break it all down.
We used to go and have
it was all day Sunday.
Yeah, it was an all day thing. But we would do
have a coffee. I'd make some food.
And Anna would have food. And that's how I kept saying, Anna, you need to start doing these recipes. You know, I'm too busy being an actress and a comedian. I can't do this. I was like, Anna, this is better than restaurant quality food. What are you doing?
That is true.
That's kind of how, it all started, right? And then I think
and by the way, your belief in me being able to do that is what carried me through some pretty dark moments because you've written books. Yeah. There's a lot of doubt that can go along with it. Like, is this crazy? What am I doing? Vinny said to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Vinny says to do it. You got to do it. And here's the crazy thing. We were doing these shows. We didn't know where this podcast would go.
No.
Right.
I said to you, we need to grow this organically. Let's see what happens.
And everybody was telling us, dude, your audience is so big. Now you can charge $150,000 a person and you can get these people and you can just charge them a lot of money and you'll make like $80,000. Remember all those people?
Oh yeah. They were charged to have guests.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were wait, what?
Yeah. You could charge to have guests. You could do this. You could do that. You can, sign up this, sign up that. And I was like, no, we're just keeping it the way it is. We're giving good information. And that's just what it's going to be. And I remember when you started writing your first book, Eat Happy. And you were like, I tried to get a food photographer. And they weren't like $1 million. Yeah. So you went out and bought your own camera and taught yourself how to shoot food.
Yeah.
Like Anna went out and bought like a $2,500 camera. I'm like, are you insane?
It was $1,500. Yep.
But then you had to get a wide angle credit card or something like that. And
I bought one lens, and then I've since bought another lens, and those are the only lenses that I use. And I bought a new camera since then. But still,
and
yeah, it
yeah, but
was
you were like, you had to learn how to do it. You were like, no, they
there
want
was a
30,000.
guy there's a New York Times food photographer named Andrew Scrivani who takes gorgeous pictures, and I took a class from him just to kind of understand how it all works. Not that I've implemented even 2% of it, but how, you know what I mean, with composition and
Right.
it's hard. The lighting, like it's hard. And I feel like I've improved over the years, but I'm still not getting,
Your pictures
you
are
know,
unbelievable. I mean, look,
they've gotten
you got
better. They have.
listen, you have 2 hit cookbooks out there, Eat
Yeah.
Happy and Eat Happy Too, and you have a third book. You don't people buy cookbooks based on the photos. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
for
it's
sure.
not kind of like it is food porn,
Yeah.
right? You have to have pretty pictures or they're not going to buy,
Well, they didn't
right?
used to be able to print pretty pictures of food in the cookbooks that we grew up with. So they'd be
Right.
lucky if there were some color inserts like in in the thing, but now it's almost like you have to have a photo per recipe, which now by the time we're to the third book, I couldn't do it for the first 2 books because there were too many recipes. The book would be too
Right.
thick and too expensive to print, too heavy to ship.
Yeah, so it's amazing how far this has come just off of me wanting to sell a book. A guy
Right.
was asking me about one of my phone callers today was asking me about it. He was like, "Man, you put out all this free content. You know, most of it is free." He goes, "I know you got your VIP group now." He goes, "I'm in that, and
Great.
the
Super fun,
PDF
by the
one,
way.
yeah." But he's sitting there going, "Dude, you still do all of this free stuff. You're on Twitter every night. You answer all of my questions. You do all this stuff." It was like, yeah, I can't believe that I'm doing. If you would have told me that in 2024, when I thought I would have my own hovercraft by now, that I would be doing this, I would have said, "There's no way." Well, what's a podcast? How does that even work? Right? But here we
And
are,
now
and
you're producing it too. Because I had to
yeah, yeah.
produce it at first because you didn't know how to turn on the computer.
And then when I started doing it from my house, because we couldn't, it just got to be too crazy. And we used Skype at the beginning, and that was kind of hit and miss. Remember that?
Yeah. There
Skype
was a
was
lot
really
of those were like episodes like 400 to 500. You can hear a lot of like, Anna, check your internet. I'm like, Vinny, it's not
yeah,
me, it's you. You can hear us fighting in
we
the
were
middle of
yelling at
the
each
podcast
other all the time. And then we went to Zoom, and we were
yeah,
on Zoom for a long
for a
time,
while. Yeah.
forever,
This
up
seems
until
better. There's no lag with this. I like this.
all right. So here's the deal. Um, Zoom we went with for a long time. But
Mm-hmm.
like you couldn't hear the music. Gina couldn't hear the music. Somehow Gina's equipment, like when you laugh, I can hear you. When Gina laughed, it would just blurt out. It would blare out.
It's
Maybe her
something, it must
cackling
be some
or something in her
sound
mic.
protection that Zoom put on.
Who knows what it is? But then every time I've done Mike Rowe show, which is twice, I've gotten mad at him. It's like, why are you using the StreamYard? It doesn't. I don't know how to get on. What the f? And the whole thing. But we started using StreamYard on the VIP
Yeah.
group, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're so much clearer. The video is clearer. We can hear you
Yeah.
better. Everything is better about StreamYard." So it's like, well, maybe
Great.
Mike Rowe, the guy with the great voice, knows something,
Mm,
and I need to switch over. Now, here's the cool thing, and we're going to get off of this because we have a lot of cool stuff to talk about
we
today.
do. In fact, let me
But
get
I
that
just want to let
prepped.
people know we're going to be putting these videos up like we have been on the YouTube, and
Great.
we're also putting it on the Rumble. But because of both of these cameras and are being shot separately, so like if I want to blow you up and just show you when you're talking, if you have something bright to say,
Blink, blink,
we can
blink.
take clips out a lot easier. We can do stuff. I might even start putting some of it back on Instagram, even though I know
Even though
now.
you're mad at Instagram.
Well, look, we found out from Instagram that yes, I'm being shot. We got an employee there that knows somebody who knows somebody who
Really?
looked into it, and it's like, oh yeah, he's being banned. And we said, I can't say who we are. We said, well, is there anything we could do about that? And it's like, yeah, you can spend a couple of $1,000s to get off of that list, which I would never do. I'm not going to
Wait,
pay ransom to get off of a
wait, you have to
list.
What?
There's a way to get off of that list. It would cost me anywhere from a couple to $3,000. It's like, okay, I'm not doing that. This is supposed to be, a free
I think I
thing.
am too, because they wouldn't even let me pay them to do the blue check mark. So I think I'm probably banned
Oh,
too.
yeah. They won't let me do
Probably
any of
because
that.
I work with you.
I think maybe they finally gave me the blue check or something, but I'm shadow banned, right? And they're still pulling people off.
You can have the blue
And
check and still be shadow banned? That makes no sense.
I can't remember. But here's the deal. I don't know if I'm shadow banned or not, if I have the blue check or not. You can go check. I think I got it on the Twitter. But here's the deal. The guy who was helping me over there, who's a friend of a friend, he said, "Look, don't even spend the money to do it, because as soon as the
No.
person who doesn't like you over there sees that you've been,
Oh, it's a
unshadow banned."
person?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's just like Wikipedia. One person, one vegan decided this guy's gone. Boom, I'm gone. One person, right? So you want to believe anything you read on Wikipedia? Good luck, because they're not about telling the truth
Well, that
at
sucks
all.
because Wikipedia comes up on top for every Google result of anything you ever read.
Exactly, and it's all BS, right? They're everyone. Wikipedia is not the truth. And when they put that thing out every year, oh, give us some more money. We're like PBS. We don't have any money. Fuck
Oh.
you. Fuck you. And the fucking horse
not
you
giving
rode
them
in
money.
on Wikipedia.
I wouldn't
I'm
give them
like,
money anyway.
dime. You want a dime? Come suck, eat a dick and eat my dick. Okay? I hate to be like that, Anna, but
I hope that becomes a reel on Instagram.
that'll be a real. I'm putting that reel up.
Hey, Wikipedia, eat Vinny's dick.
Yeah, Wikipedia, eat my dick. All right.
Can we title that this episode? By the way, we're
yeah,
talking about really serious stuff this week. We're talking about food beliefs. We're talking about how General Mills was asked by the government to remove plastics from their foods that are on the shelves at every grocery store in America.
Let's get into that right now before I lose my mind. But before we do that, Anna, before you do that, Villa Capelli olive oil.
Oh, it's so
they
good.
never eat a dick over there.
They do. Well,
hang on.
Hold on. Let's rethink our talking points.
Right.
Villa Capelli olive oil is the best olive oil on the planet. You will not find any phthalates, which is spelled with a P, by the way.
Yeah.
Phthalates. You will not find phthalates in there. You will only find pure extra virgin, cold pressed, first pressed olive oil from Puglia, Italy. They harvest early. I think the Frantoio and the Coratina olives. And when they do that, you get the extra polyphenols in there that give you the Puglia pinch. So if you were to do a little shot and then what's called a stripaggio, which is where you slurp it in the mouth and you get when you do that, that's the polyphenols hitting the back of your throat. And that means
that's good quality stuff right there.
You want that peppery finish, that olivey, peppery, grassy finish. It's really nice. And if you try Villa Capelli and then you go back to grocery store, you're going to be really disappointed in your flabby, rancid grocery store olive oil. So get Villa Capelli olive oil. When you do, use the discount code VINNIE, VINNIE. You'll get 10% off your order each and every time. We always recommend you get your cart size to around 140, 145, 150, so that when you use the discount code, you still qualify for the free shipping, because or else you're going to pay, because olive oil is expensive to ship. It's heavy. And let's make Stephen Crutchfield pay for it, the proprietor of Villa Capelli. Get it. You won't regret it.
Anna?
Yeah.
Promo code VINNIE.
Vinnie.
All right. Yeah. So speaking of olive oil, even though the ad is over with, Kim wrote to me the other day.
Original Kim or White Kim? Okay.
No, Original Kim.
Okay.
Okay. So Original Kim took a picture at she was at the Starbucks.
Okay.
He wanted to know if the Partana olive oil that they use in their coffee drink with the olive oil, if that was real olive oil or not, or if it's 100%, because they can say it's 100%.
No idea.
And I told her too, it's like, I can't, let's tell people how they can vet their own olive oil. Since Kim brought this up, we might as well talk about it. There's a UC Davis oil study that comes out every 7 years.
Unfortunately, the UC Davis olive oil study's not been done for about 10 years. So I'm actually having a hard time endorsing that. But
how do we find out? I mean,
you'd have to go down the rabbit hole of, here's what I say. Go down the rabbit hole and research the producers. Any producer who's decent will put their process and their information on the internet. So you're going to
A
have to do your
company
research
that
because there's
big,
no governing body in the United States that I would necessarily trust.
a company that's that big can't possibly be producing all of those olives, right?
I mean,
And the
it
thing
could
of the
be
company,
real. They could be sourcing it from different places. It might not be
all
single
over the
origin. It might
world,
be a
Greece,
blend.
Spain, Italy, all the
So yeah,
different.
they make a lot of olive oil in Tunisia and Spain, um, Greece, like you said,
Okay.
Italy, of course. I would doubt that they would sell Italian extra virgin olive oil to go inside of a coffee product. I would think it would be from somewhere else that might be a little less expensive, but I don't know.
Who
I
knows?
would have to look up that producer, and I wasn't prepared for that question, but
Yeah, yeah, we
UC
wouldn't
Davis
know.
study I've been steering away from a little bit, but, I do quote it in the book. It still has some very good points in their study, which is, at least at the time, there were very few brands that passed the test that were clean, but how to vet it, it's really hard. You've gotta get to know your producers.
Yeah, and Kim is one of those super smart people, so she can do the math. She
Yep.
knows how she's my age, so we know how to do some snooping.
I
So
mean, there's a
I'm
lot
sure.
of stuff that, about Starbucks that makes us both roll our eyes, but I would definitely maybe that's something we should research and find out.
Yeah, we can look into it.
Or you could just buy Villa
Um,
Capelli, bring it with you, and pour it in your coffee.
that's the way I do it. But don't they take zzz and kind of whiz it up in there so it emulsifies in the coffee or
I'm
something?
sure. That's what I
Yeah,
do with coconut oil in my coffee,
and they're not going to probably
in my
take
double
your olive
French.
oil. They can't do that legally. Take your stuff in the back and put it in. So
No, you
make your
could
coffee.
bring your own Zulay $14 mixer.
Or you could just make your coffee at home like normal
Zu
people.
I only get, the Starbucks when I'm traveling, or else I'm making it at home.
Yeah,
General
Anna,
Mills.
you know how you have your kitchen is kind of your luxury thing at your house?
Yeah,
My coffee bar is my luxury thing.
yeah.
And it
Yeah,
didn't
your
cost that.
coffee bar is next level. It's goals.
Yeah, I like making coffee
If
at
you
home.
go
That's why. Yeah,
I was gonna
go
say, if
on.
you guys go back and listen to the VIP thing that I did where I streamed the chicken and the asparagus and the salad dressing, Vinny goes
Mhm.
into detail about certain espresso makers and coffee makers, and it was
Yeah,
gold. Like, go back and listen to
I
that.
don't know if it was gold, but if you're looking
I thought it
for
was.
a prosumer style espresso machine, I think that was the question that was on the table. I gave a couple of good brands. Now there are a lot of other good brands out there, but let's give them a plug, even though they don't advertise in the show.
Do it.
If you're looking at prosumer stuff, go to Clive, Clive, clivecoffee.com, or maybe Clive. I don't know what it is. They're not advertising, so I don't have to get it right. And look at prosumer products there. Um, yeah, if you're really into espresso, you got to do it at home because very few places are going to do it
Yeah.
correctly out there. All right, Anna, what do we have?
Okay.
We have stuff there.
Well, here's the thing. We like to keep you guys apprised of the news of what's going on in the food world. And
Mhm,
then we're going to talk about some food beliefs because I know that we're coming up on this is coming out end of February. And for
mhm.
those of you guys who decided to be new or renewed, some of these things are going to be coming up. Once you've been doing NSNG for a little while, all of a sudden you'll notice not only your own patterns of behavior that are breaking, but you might notice a little bit of codependency with the family. You might notice a little bit of maybe you get a little trouble from your significant other. Maybe your kids give you a hard time. Maybe people around you aren't liking that you're losing weight. So we're going to like kind of solidify some beliefs and help reinforce that you guys are on the right track. But first, let's talk about the disturbing news in the food world.
Go
Um,
on. Hmm.
the headline is General Mills urged to take plastics out of Cheerios, soup, pasta, canned corn. And my immediate thought is, what? Wait,
Well,
what?
look,
Why are plastics in any of those things?
because if folks go back and listen, I just had him on the show again a few weeks back, Friday show, Dr. Anthony J. The guy wrote a groundbreaking book back, I want to say around 2017 was the first time I had him on the show, called Estrogeneration. and he talks about, testosterone in men are going way down, estrogen levels, more men have the man boobs now. What do they call them? Mammaries? Not mam.
Bitch tits.
When I was in high school, we called them bitch tits, and you barely ever saw a guy with them. But now it's a common thing. I see a lot of guys when they're doing their before and afters on the internet, and they don't have the shirt on. A lot of guys it looks like they have breasts, like female breasts, even when
And
they lose a lot
that's a
of the weight.
result of men having too much estrogen in their diet. So
Yeah,
it's not from not working out enough.
right. And I've seen a couple of these guys after they lose a shit ton of weight, they'll have that surgically removed, to the best of their ability and the whole thing.
Mm.
But yeah, a lot of that comes from estrogen. They say that, kids aren't having sex as much as before. Sometimes I wonder
Because
if that's not
testosterone is low.
testosterone is low. They're not interested in sex. And when you look around, it's all plastic. And we could go back. I wish I could remember the guest's name, but I had a guy on about a month before that who kayaked around Greenland. And he was a British guy, and he was doing it as part of a thing to write about it and the whole thing. But these scientists got a hold of him and said, wait a minute, you're going to be coming up on the shores in Greenland. We want you to pick up, I want to say it was seal poop that kind of is along the shore.
Mm-hmm.
So he collected seal poop along the way for these
like
scientists.
His why would they have him collect seal poop? I don't understand.
Well, for one, most people just let their seals off the leash and just let them poop all over Greenland.
Please curb your seals.
Yeah, come on, folks. But no, they wanted to see what was doing with seal poop. They found, now think about it. You would think Greenland, right? One of the high, that's as close as you could get to the North Pole.
Right.
Right. That's above Iceland. Greenland is above Iceland. Although it seems like it should be the other way around. It's not. Reykjavik, Iceland is the highest capital in the world. And then Greenland is above that.
Right.
Right. He's going around Greenland picking up seal poop, and they're finding plastics. Can you think of a place more pristine?
Like plastic,
no,
the things that are around soda cans, or like, what do you mean?
They didn't find a straw or a soda can or anything. They found particles in the poop, like when they microscopic particles in seal poop. When you got seal poop with microplastics in it, and one of the most pristine places on the planet, bottom line, we're all screwed.
We're all screwed. And the assumption being that they're eating it from the food chain, which means the fish are eating it, which means it's in the.
It's getting, and when you can get it to Greenland, to a seal in Greenland, and think of the vastness of that desert of the North Pole, right? Think of that vastness and think of the water around that and just all of it. When seals up there end up with particles of plastic in their poop, what can we expect? So am I shocked that General Mills has...
Well, I still am. Listen, I'm in the food industry. I make food. And so the fact that because I think to myself, okay, I've heard plenty about take the phthalates, which are plastic, out of sunscreens, take it out of skin cream, take it out of shampoos. I get it. Take it out of beauty products. I get it.
Right.
Why would it even be in food? What are they using that would have phthalates in it? That's what really disturbed me. So go ahead.
I'm guessing the packages it comes in.
Let's see. Let's see.
Go on.
A consumer group is urging popular brand General Mills to reduce the amount of plastic chemicals in prepackaged foods. Okay, I thought it was the government. It's a consumer group, but okay. Consumer Reports is an independent nonprofit group. It sent a letter to General Mills claiming it found concerning levels of the forever chemical phthalates in several General Mills products. We talked about phthalates before, even recently. It used to make plastics more durable. Some studies have linked the chemicals to health issues, including heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. The letter breaks down which products Consumer Reports tested. Products mentioned include Original Cheerios, the French vanilla flavor of Yoplait Original Low-Fat Yogurt, the Green Giant Cream Style Sweet Corn, Cream corn's off the table. And Progresso Vegetable Classics Veggie Soup. The highest level of phthalates were found in Annie's organic cheesy ravioli.
Ooh,
So it
organic. You
talks
mean something bad was in something called
I
organic?
know. I
Figured.
know. The
Go
letter to General Mills talks about how even a small amount of exposure to phthalates over time can increase health risk and says growing research shows it can interfere with how your body regulates hormones. So I know every single one of those items of food that we listed are not NSNG. And when you're going for an NSNG diet, you're not going to buy that stuff. But still, what? What? How is that deemed safe to eat? Why is General Mills not testing their own products?
Because they don't care. The
Okay, there it
government,
is.
I talked about it in my first movie, Fat, a documentary. They don't care. So you ask yourself, why don't they care? The government regulates, it's almost like what they say, the inmates are running the asylum. The
Mhm.
government regulates these companies. These companies pay the government a lot of money. So they're in bed together, right? So there's a
Right.
lot of eye squinting that goes on. They'll say, okay, what's an acceptable level of crap that we can do along the way? You know how, and I was talking about this on my show back in New Orleans when, I did my original fitness
Back in the
show
day.
way back in the day, back in the 80s. I used to tell people, and they thought I needed a tinfoil hat. It's like, listen, the show was called Talking Fitness at WSMB in New Orleans. So I said, listen, the government allows a plus or minus of error when it comes to what's actually in the food you eat. And that plus or
Oh,
minus is enough wiggle room to allow people, meaning these companies, to screw up. Now they have these pluses or minuses on how much crap people can eat. So, okay, if you eat, let's say you go get your General Mills cream corn because
classic. That's a classic.
there's a storm that's cut out and that's all you got in your pantry and the whole thing. Is it bad if you ate that once? No. Is it bad if you ate it twice? Absolutely not. But when you're eating this stuff and you're microdosing this shit every day, all day long, not
Right.
just in your cream corn, but in your cereal.
Well, if you make
And
cream corn one night and then you make the cereal the next morning and then you make the ravioli for dinner for the kids and then you have a few of those and then
right,
you're giving it to your kids too. Adults
yeah,
aren't eating the ravioli, the kids are eating it.
absolutely, absolutely. And it just goes on and on and on, and it's in everything. Now they hammer General Mills on this, but go down any company. You think General Mills is worse than any other company or better?
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
absolutely not. This
That's
is
true.
happening everywhere. This is what Anthony J talks about. It's like, oh wait, I'm not going to drink out of plastic, so I'm going to have this bubbly. I'm going to have the bubbly out of a can,
Oh,
right?
I just took a sip of Waterloo at the beginning of the show.
Okay, what do you think is in that can?
Oh, I'm sure it's something
There's a
terrible.
plastic liner in there, believe it
Oh
or
no.
not. These thin, really thin tin cans now made out of aluminum has a plastic, it's a film in there. It's very fine, but it's in there and it's all leaching. Look, this is what I drink out of right here. Look
Yeah.
at that clear water right there, fresh
Well, I
water.
usually make a bubble water, but I got lazy and I did a Waterloo.
Yeah, but don't get lazy. If you don't buy it, you can't have it. How about
That's
them
true.
apples?
That's true.
Right? And even when you're drinking water from your own tap, you know, I run it through a filter, and you'll go, wait, that's plastic. Yeah. As soon as it goes through the filter, it goes into my stainless steel canisters. I got two of them.
Yeah.
I have a 60 ouncer right there. Usually I have the 40 ouncer sitting here, but today I have a glass. Right?
It's
That's
really
that's the issue. You
scary.
really have to pay attention. You really do.
Well, you and I have talked about this a whole lot over the years, and there was a period of time there. And by the way, I'm going to go do Expo West. I got a booth for 25% off because somebody dropped out. So we're going to go do Expo West. And you remember doing that show. It's going to
Oh yeah.
be nutty, just the crazy. And the craziest one at Fancy Food that I talked about from 2 years ago was the plant-based tuna. And I
Yeah.
was like, no, No. Mostly just because it tastes revolting, but God knows what's in it. Um, so there's gonna be a lot of that, and I will bring samples and we will talk about it, but you and I have talked about I don't know if we've talked about it for the new people, how to read the food label because it is very confusing, and, I talked about my husband's journey to find the perfect protein bar, and I kept trying to tell him it doesn't exist. The
It's
perfect
called
protein bar
meat.
is an egg or
Yeah.
meat, yeah, but it's
Eggs,
it
animal
he
protein.
that's why you can look at a protein bar or it's basically a candy bar, but if you can look at a protein bar and it will say, includes only 1 gram of added sugar, but 28 grams of protein on the front, and then you turn it over and you read it and you're like, why are there 5 kinds of sugar? It's because there's a plus or minus 1 gram margin of error that they're legally
Right.
allowed to do. Now, some companies wind up getting sued for that stuff, and then some just get like there's just so many grocery store brands, which is why for me, compliance is everything. I want to make sure that we're compliant with every single thing because I don't want that to happen. But that's why you think that you're gonna, oh, I'm gonna find the perfect protein bar, and then you're like, look, this one only has 1 gram of added sugar. That's fine. I can process 1 gram of added sugar, and then you wonder why it makes your CGM go up or it makes you feel hyperactive, like all of a sudden you're peckish, and your fat adaptedness wears off. That's what happened.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what they allow these companies to get away with, and we talk about it over and over.
Well,
And
let's do this
these
Beyond Meat.
companies, these companies, let me just say this: they don't
Mhm.
ask for permission; they ask for forgiveness, and they
Right.
always get it. So, I sent you a story. Um,
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. Of course, I love your documentary, Beyond Impossible, where you go into the detail, all the details of just how processed the meat alternatives are. Is that the proper phrase of describing the meat alternatives? The burger, Beyond Meat, and Impossible Burger, and things like that.
yeah, the reason behind me even doing the documentary about the fake meat industry was because of what they were saying. And, when something doesn't smell, as I always say, if it doesn't pass the sniff test, I'll go and look deeper, right? I
Right.
want to find out. So they came out, Impossible, Beyond Burger, Impossible Meat, all this kind of, or whatever it's called. And both companies were saying the same sort of thing: healthier for you,
Mhm.
healthy for the environment, and we're going to save the ozone layer in the process.
Right.
Okay. Okay. All right. So first, a processed food, because this is 100% processed. There has never been a time in history where something that is processed is better than the original, nor will there ever be. Example: blow up doll will never be as good as a real woman. Yeah. Bottom line, right?
Right.
Can you imagine, right? Now, some women out there going, wait a minute, vibrator is better than my husband. So, okay,
You need to that's a conversation you need to have with your husband then.
yeah, maybe your husband needs to move a little quicker. I don't know. Or maybe you need to put the vibrator down. That's up to you guys. I can't. But in my situation, blow up doll will never be better than the real thing. I don't care how you do it. Right. So that's number one. So I looked into it just to make sure. And I couldn't believe the process that these things go through and you're going to Expo West, everything there reimagined, chicken
Mhm.
reimagined, fish reimagined, ice cream reimagined, everything is reimagined. They might as well just stop calling it Expo West and just call it Vegan Central, because it's all vegan crap, right? Reimagined, every booth. Pizza reimagined. You don't have to reimagine pizza, just go to New York. Go to New York, go to Italy. That's the best pizza. You don't have to reimagine pizza. Trust me, or ice cream for that matter. So,
Yeah. It is
uh,
funny because people okay, so I do pasta sauce and spices, and I don't use reimagined. I don't even really hit I say keto and paleo friendly, but I don't really hit I don't say plant-based or what I assume that if you're vegan, you can read a label.
yeah,
We're vegetarian because there's no meat in any of our pasta sauces. I assume you're going to buy some meat and put it with the sauces because my audience doesn't eat pasta. We eat meat. But it's funny the offhanded sort of comments that you get because I'm pitching to grocery buyers, I'm pitching to investors, I'm pitching to people. And it's a lot of the objections are, well, what are you doing that's differentiating? And I was like, well, I'm making a good product out of good ingredients. And that to them is not, it needs to be reinvented. Like that's that's the sizzle that gets the investors. That's the sizzle that gets the stores on board. And then you know what happens? Exactly what would happen with Beyond and Impossible Burgers. They fizzle out and their sales suck. Plant-based has now leveled out, like big time plummeted and then leveled out. The keto explosion at the grocery store that we were talking about so much 2 years ago has now leveled out. These are trends and they're fads. And so what I'm trying to do is actually give, and you are too, trying to give good products, great products at the best possible price that we know that people will eat and enjoy, but also that's good for them. And it's so hard because it's like, well, what are you doing? What are you reimagining? Did you put kombucha in it? Is there an adaptogen in there? It's like,
Exactly.
no, it's just good pasta sauce. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Taste their pasta sauce and then taste my pasta sauce, read their ingredients and then read my ingredients.
Anna,
I don't know what to tell you.
With your pasta sauce, they don't have to reimagine. They just have to imagine. Imagine all the people eating Anna's pasta.
Pasta sauce or no pasta.
Yeah, no pasta, just the sauce.
So this Beyond Burger stuff, it's really funny that they said it was so much healthier for you and for the environment, but now the article you sent me.
Hang on. I just want to finish the statement before you get to the article, right? So when I went down the rabbit hole, it was like, okay,
Oh yeah.
so it's not healthier for you. It's just not. And then I started looking it's like, where do they get the ingredients from? First off, it's not real ingredients. They get all of this chemical crap that they have to ship from China. So, we're not helping the environment because in China, there's no regulation going on over there when it comes to spewing stuff into the atmosphere. It's fucking China. They do what they want, right? They're the big bosses over there. We do what the hell we want. We do it how we want. We got sweat factories. We got everything. Child labor. We do it all. China is the boss when it comes to all of that crap. They don't give a shit about child labor. They kill and eat dogs. They do it all, right?
Right.
They're spewing off into the atmosphere. And then they take those chemicals and they have to ship them to the United States. Now, Anna, I don't know if you know much about shipping, but when you ship things,
Yes.
it takes
I've learned.
it takes some kind of either jet A fuel, which is kerosene you put in these airplanes, or it takes diesel to run these ships and what have you, right? Big giant diesel engines.
Either way, we're powering a giant machine.
We are not
to
messing
propel
around.
Those items to the United States.
Yeah, so now we're spewing more stuff off into the air, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we got that problem. When it gets here, it's still not a Beyond Burger or Impossible Meat. They now have to take all of these junk ingredients and mix it together. It looks like Play-Doh when they mix it together. You should see what it looks like. It's in my movie. Go watch Beyond Impossible. You see what I'm talking about. And now you have to spew more stuff into the atmosphere just to get this shit made. And then they have to package it up in plastic, so you're getting a little extra estrogen there. Why not? And then they ship it to the store. Okay. Now, how in the hell is that better than slaughtering a cow, chopping it up, and serving it up to people? You get your tri-tip, you get your sirloin, you got your New York strip, you got your filet, you get it all. You want the heart, you want the tongue, you want it all. They serve it all, right? Well, you like this, and even the hooves. Oh, wait, Vin, you eat hooves? No, but guess what? My dog loves a bit of hoof, right? They do. It's good for their gums, what have you. So we use all of the cow. It's sacrificed and it's for our health. And it's, so I looked at all of that and went, wait a minute, this doesn't add up. I must go and make a movie, right? So this stuff wasn't good to begin with. But then we come across this article. What do you have there, Anna?
Well, it's a lot of doublespeak, if I'm being honest, but I'm going to read it to you. Beyond Meat is launching a new version of its plant based burger in grocery stores this spring, betting that an even healthier version of its burgers will lure back consumers, which to me implies that they've lost consumers. The unveiling Wednesday comes at a pivotal time for Beyond as a company. The plant based meat category, once buzzy, has lost consumers' interest. Retail sales of meat alternatives have fallen 33.6% compared with a year ago as of January 28th, according to Circana data. Beyond's retail and restaurant sales have cratered as a result. Yada, yada, yada. Stock fallen 60%. The embattled company has always maintained that its meat substitutes are healthier than the real deal, but Beyond touts that the newest iteration of its beef has less sodium and saturated fat than ever before. The reformulation is the biggest upgrade to its recipe since the burger originally launched in 2016, according to their CEO. The new burger uses avocado oil, cutting its saturated fat by 60% to 2 grams. Beyond also slashed the sodium in the plant-based meat by 20%. The ingredient list is shorter, but features other new additions such as red lentil and faba bean protein.
Okay, so the only thing that made it somewhat palatable, I'm guessing, was saturated fat. So they cut that by
Right.
20%.
And
And
salt.
they think they're going to get more meat eaters that they couldn't get before. By the way, they have tried 3 times with Wall Street. They've done 3 buy-ins. This
Oh,
company
really?
is failing on ice. It's failing on ice. It's over with. And this is a last ditch effort. Goodbye, Beyond Meat. By the way, I'd like to say my movie had something to do with it. I think it did, because after that came out was the first time that they had to go back and go, oh, we're doing another. You want to buy stock? You want a penny stock on it? Yeah. Look where you are now, Beyond Meat. Let's keep going. And you guys can keep, Meta, you can keep going after me, but guess what? People aren't going to eat shit. I'm sorry. Maybe you could push this on a couple of fucking vegans that are unaware. You know, I can't help stupidity. I just can't. And I can't stop ignorance. But guess what? The American people are not all ignorant and they're not all stupid. They're not going to buy your crap, right? As long as there's a dietitians association, there will be a hell below us. Yes.
Well, you'll be very relieved to know that Beyond said that it worked with the Stanford University School of Medicine and registered dietitians, among other experts, to inform
Okay.
the development of the new product.
Okay. Yeah, Stanford. Guess what? Stanford is going down the same hellhole that Harvard's been going down forever. You're dealing with Stanford. Enough said. Enough
Well,
said.
Beyond is expected to report its fourth quarter earnings after the bell on February 27th. So I'm eager to see what their fourth. I don't usually follow things like that, but now I want to see what their fourth
And
quarter
I want you
earnings
to
are.
follow it and bring it back. I want to know what they're doing in the fourth quarter. I guarantee you, unless they're doctoring the numbers, they're going to go down. That company will not make it. People are not stupid. People are not dumb. It's not going to work. I love it. She's writing it down over there. She's going to keep on top
Well,
of it.
because I do wonder if they've already had their IPO, they've had several rounds of investment. They've got to be on their Series D, E, F. Like, what are they?
Easily. They've done so many rounds of investment. I don't know how they're still afloat.
And see,
Who's
here's the
giving them
thing.
money?
As somebody who is currently raising money for a Seed Plus round, I think to myself, I need to remember things like this when I feel like I'm doubting what I can do. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, if those people can go out and get literally almost billions of dollars, I can get my 2 million. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to keep up with that.
Yeah.
And talk about beliefs. Talking about belief systems. Do you want to talk about
Go
that now?
on.
Or do you
Why
want to
not?
wrap it up? You want to do it?
Well,
We're at 47 minutes.
let's do a little more. I'm feeling feisty tonight, Anna.
You're feeling feisty.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Mhm.
I wanted to bring this up because Vinny and I are out here in these digital streets with the people. Oh, and by the way, I said I'm going to be in Vinny's VIP group doing the cooking demo. And then people were like, oh, how do I log in? I'm like, are you in Vinny's VIP group? And they're like, no, can I sign up? And I was like,
No,
no, you have to sign up when it's open.
Mhm. And who
Yeah.
knows when Vinny's going to open it up again? I tell people it's going to be exclusive, and then they don't listen. What am I
And then
supposed to
they
do?
feel upset. They feel
Yeah,
upset.
yeah. I'm sorry. Now, look, folks, you can go to vinnytortorese.com/VIP, put your name in, and the
Yeah.
next time
Put your
we
name in
open
the
it up,
waiting list. Yeah.
yeah, you get on the waiting list, and when I open it up, you can be in. Boom.
Good. It was
Yeah.
really fun. We had a really good time. But hearing the people talk and seeing the comments and, but watching the groups and getting the DMs, I get a lot of DMs. Hearing about what you guys go through when you're the only one making this commitment and you're
Mm.
not supported by other people in your household or your extended family or your kids or your spouse or whatever. And I was going to say it's women, but it's also men. I know I hear from y'all. You're doing it by yourself and you want to set a good example for your kids, for your family, like and it's working for you. How do
Right.
you stay solid without becoming the the guy who's like barking your parrot beliefs? You're just parroting everything that Vinny says. And you don't want to be that guy.
Right.
Well, Vinny says. Well, Vinny says.
First thing I
and,
tell
and I'm the
wives,
queen of doing
especially,
that
yeah, don't, especially if you're a wife, don't start telling your husband Vinny says.
about a man. Another man. Who's Vinny? I'll kill him.
Yeah, not good, not good, not good. You know. So
Not
anyway,
good. So yeah, I know you see a lot of this. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the idea of make sure you wait till someone asks you and then tell the story of what worked for you. Instead of you should do this, you should do that. Vinny, how do you advise people about that? Because you see this all the time.
look, I think about myself. You know, as you know, I walked into a gym. I was not even 10 yet. The first time I walked into a gym, I was just kind of a lost kid, and found the gym. And then by the time I was 12 or so, I was like this kind of doing this thing. I was built like a brick shit house, and I was young, and getting all this attention for it. But never once, even when I was that young, I learned very young. Joe, my weightlifting coach said, weightlifting breeds narcissism. I'm saying this for a reason, Anna. And I said, well, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of syllables, Joe. I can't even say that word with my lisp. Uh,
That's pretty good for a boyfriend to buy you.
what is this narcissism? What is this? And he goes, narcissism. He goes, best way I can describe it is when you start every station with I and end it with me. Don't ever talk about I
Mm,
do this, I do that. Never say me, 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 me. I mean, okay. It was coming from someone who I respected. So I never got into the I's and the me's. And you can almost extend that because, and look, I get it. You found this. You want to proselytize the way vegans do, and everyone else, and people who do carnivore and keto and everything else. You go, oh my God, I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. My headaches have gone away. I'm off of all
yeah.
these antidepressants and A, B, C, and D. I feel good. I want to tell everyone else. I want everyone in my family to feel as good as I do. They have to do it on their own. There's
Right.
nothing. I mean, you can say it once, like especially if someone says to you, "Hey Anna, oh my God, you look great. What did you do?" It's like, do you really want to know? I would go down that road first instead of going, well, let me tell you, NSNG, go get his ebook and go get, no, no, no. Say, well, you know what? Do you really want to know? And if so, go listen to a podcast or two that this guy's done, see if you're in, and then maybe we can talk about it, right? Maybe we could talk about it then. But before then, proselytizing will never get anyone to do anything, period.
Right.
It's never worked. It never will. It goes into that same heading that I always talk about when I tell people, they'll say, well, we need to shame fat people. It's like, no, 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 no. Shaming fat people has
Oh my
never
God.
worked, ever.
No.
You know,
Shaming anyone on anything has never worked.
yeah,
It
but
doesn't work.
especially,
Shame is not a good motivator.
Yeah, you know, you don't think a person who's morbidly obese, you don't think they feel enough shame, right? And I get that whole body positivity thing that they were trying on for size for a couple of years, but as we know, it's failing, right? Because you can look at someone who's morbidly obese and go, okay, that's not a healthy person. You know, we need to lose some of this weight to be healthy. Get our A1Cs in check, get our fatty liver disease in check, get everything in check before you die of type 2 diabetes or some other complication that might come along.
Could I
Remember,
interject here just for a
yeah,
second?
go on, go on.
I think it's possible, and if I could rebrand body positivity
Yeah,
I think it's possible for you to learn to love yourself and also get healthy at the same time. I don't think that those two are completely separate thing because I think the positivity movement wants you to think like if you work towards health goals, it means you're hating yourself. And that's not true. It's actually
yeah.
loving yourself and this one body that you have in this lifetime
You get
to
exactly
want to
one. You don't get another one. That's
you
it.
get one. So, and it's okay for you to go on your journey and figure it out. But I also would venture to say it's actually an act of self love and reconnecting with yourself because I love what you taught me early on, which is just make the dietary change first and you'll be shocked at how much the body wants to move. Like it's in our nature to want to
Yeah.
get up and go for a walk. And you just have forgotten because you've sat around for so long and you've practiced those patterns of behaviors for so long and the food intake doesn't help. It doesn't give you the energy that you're designed to have. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that because I don't know. I think there's such a thing as body positivity and loving yourself and also working towards health goals. I
And
think
you
that they
should love
occur
yourself. You know,
simultaneously.
this all started off with me saying that, you know, shaming some body shaming never works.
Right.
Well, you know, you look at, and yeah, I can't name the you know, it's tens of thousands of people because of Adam Carolla and Mike Rowe inviting me onto their shows. We have tens of thousands of people, but when you look at people like Megan Hawks, lost a shit ton of weight. You know, she's swimming and running and everything else. And you know, I just heard from Demeester, Susie Demeester. You know,
Love her. She's doing it.
she's getting in ship shape for a wedding that's coming. She's the mother of the.
Yes, her
Oh, I
son's
want
getting married.
yeah,
Mazel tov.
and she wrote to me, "Hey, I'm 5 pounds away from my
You need
fighting
to
weight."
text her.
She still has a ways to go, and she's running and doing all this kind of stuff. And you know, the Tim Mallions of the world, and both of the Dobbins, Robin and is it Matt Dobbins? I mean, he
You're
looks.
like, is it Matt? You know it's Matt.
I had to think for a second, but
Because you were like least favorite.
I was about to
I
say
call him Bronze Dobbins. He's
I
the
was about
Bronze
to say
Dobbins.
Kurt. I was about to call him Kurt Dobbins, but
No, no, you
Kurt
weren't.
Lapierre. I
We
mean,
love you,
enough.
Matt Dobbins.
You know, Kurt lost a lot of weight, and you know, Tim Mallion, I think I mentioned, and you know, uh, Scott King, and you know, all of these people that we see every day that are they're losing all of this weight, you know, and they're feeling good and they get their life back. I mean, Matt Dobbins is now doing some kind of jujitsu or something and getting back
That's
into shape he was
awesome.
in when he was younger. And Robin is slinging weights around like she's getting ready to enter the Olympics, you know.
I
And
love
this
it.
is a husband wife team. Can you imagine? You know, and she had some, you know, depression problems. I'm not talking out of turn. She puts this on the internet. That's how I know.
Yeah.
And you know, she talks about how it changed her depression. You know, God, what's her name over in Seattle that we love with the kindest face in the world?
Jackie
Uh,
Jones.
Jackie Jones, Jackie Jam.
She
You know, I
does
think
have the kindest face.
she has the kindest face on the planet. And you think about all of these people, right? And whenever we go places and people show up, right? And and they do this, right? They show up and they hold their phone up like this, and they, you know, someone said to me one time, why do people walk up to you and do this? And it's like, because they're showing me their before. They're
Mm,
showing me their before
yeah.
picture, right? And they're going, look. You know, they keep that reminder on their phone.
Hold on.
And
Somebody actually just texted me before. I just got off the phone with her. I'm going to say, can I show this on the air?
okay, great.
It's amazing. Uh, 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 somebody called. Her name is Carol. Shout out to Carol. She called me needing some tech support on the back, and she was shocked when I picked up the phone and called her. She's like, "What?"
You were your own,
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Well, who do you think? This is it.
You know,
Got me, baby."
Debbie, who works for this show, you know, Nina's a rail in her 60s. Leona, my fake internet girlfriend, Lois. I mean, lost a lot of weight. You know,
Your fake internet ex-girlfriend. You guys broke up when you met Tom.
I know we did because I fell in love with her husband, but I'm not gay.
Yeah.
We just like hanging out. But she had like the mommy body with the extra weight, right? And she, you know, I've gone hiking with her and I've been out to dinner with her and Tom, and I mean, they look great. I mean, that's why we do this.
Right.
Because we know that there's a way, but all of those folks know because I've talked to all of them. These are all people I've talked to. They know that they can't get family members to do what they're doing unless they want to. They have to want to do it. There's no other way around that. Unfortunately,
they have to want to do it. And by the way, I'm going to say this too. Every single person that you named, I've had conversations with, you've had conversations with. It's never a straight line, I guess, is what I want to say. So if you're out there going, yeah, I really want to do this, but I fell off the wagon or I did that, just get right back on because it's not a straight line. And it wasn't a straight line for any of these people that Vinny just mentioned.
Yeah.
It never is. And it's all part of the process because generally after you do it for 30 to 60 days, all of a sudden you're going to start to notice things that you do, ways you've enabled your own bad behavior, ways that you've been white knuckling, ways that you've been squelching things by shoving something in your gob. We've all done that. I didn't even realize that I had a feeling about that until I was not eating that food anymore. And then all of a sudden I had to feel my feelings and that sucks. So just know that you're literally creating a new you, and that includes your mental patterns, your behaviors, your belief systems. It's not just the physical you that you're creating. So I just wanted to really hit that, and hopefully it hits home.
So Anna, did that person write back to you or?
They did not. So she's dead to me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You don't count, Carol.
If you don't write back in 30 seconds. That was a good clip you can use for the internet, by the way. I said some good stuff. Sometimes I say good things.
Yeah. Every now and again. You know what? Look. Every now and then you
swing for your britches, ma'am.
You get a little wood on the ball. I mean, it's a good thing. Anna,
That's
when
what
we
she
end
said.
the show, end the show today, because we're doing StreamYard, you have to hang out for a minute or two until it uploads. So don't.
Oh God.
Do what you
I have to hang out with you off the air?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So
gross.
You won't have to hang out that long. You can just show me your boobies or something and you can go. I mean, we could just talk. What did I say?
Is that just talking? That's your just version of just talking. Oh, Serena and I were just talking last night. That means she was showing me her boobies.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Also, I love that you're 61 and you say the word boobies.
All right. Yeah, that's what do you call them? All right, so folks, tits.
You're with a Brit. Why would you call them anything but tits?
That's what Coddington calls me when he calls me. He goes, tits. Oh wait, I said his name.
It's a really
Millionaire Don Coddington's Friday 5 o'clock blast off.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show, I was talking about Eat Happy Italian. Is it eathappyitalian.com? Did I get that right? Or?
Yeah, because I had to make a landing page for first of all, there's a links of where you can buy it, but then I'm giving away bonuses through anybody who pre-orders through March 15th. Way better bonuses than what you're going to get just on the regular time leading up to it. So make sure you go there and see what the bonuses are and upload your receipt so you can get your bonuses. You'll get the email confirmation. We're getting all of those receipts.
Yeah.
But it's a lot going on right now.
Okay, so eathappyitalian.com. Go there, pre-order the book. Eat Happy Kitchen. That's where you get all of your stuff. I got the pucked up. I'm into the pucked up stuff now. I'm using it.
Great.
Yeah.
Jam the fork in there. You're good.
Yeah, you just crunch it up and it's like brand new. As a matter of fact, I'm not so sure.
87 twin packs left. What's that?
I think it's actually fresher that way because it stays all together. And when
It
you
kind of
break it
like,
up, it's like,
hmm
oh, it's nice and fresh, like nougaty
hmm
fresh. So,
By the way, did you know that your wife
mm,
ordered barbecue dust to be sent to wherever her work location is?
yeah, she's in
So she
LA.
wouldn't be without it?
Yeah. And, Anna is very gracious, sending me free stuff all the time. Serena ordered a bunch of stuff to have it sent to LA so she can have all of your dust
That is
while she's there.
amazing.
Yeah. That's how much we use that stuff around here. We can't live without it. And I wasn't giving up my pucked up stuff. So
You were
I
I love
looked at it
it.
and said, "You're pretty pucked up if you think you're getting
Not
this."
sharing, not gonna
No,
share.
no, 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 no. Okay. You know what to do with me. We all go shopping on Amazon. Before you go there, go to vinnytotteries.com, click through the banner. It puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We're able to keep the show
Yeah.
free for a bazillion years in a row. Also, rate and review this podcast. Unless
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
hate listener, do not. You guys just take a knee. Don't do
They don't
anything.
listen this far in.
Yeah. Rate and review, and we appreciate that. They probably all left after I was talking about their god awful Beyond Meat.
Probably.
Okay, I
No, the
promise to.
ratings and reviews are really, really important because it helps new people find the work. And I'll be honest with you, if we don't have new people finding the work, we're not growing this work. So it is really important to be able to do that. From a
Yeah.
mental standpoint for us, giving out information as well as, just growing this wonderful community we have. So thank you guys.
So, on behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinny Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with a little madman across the water, Mr. Elton John.